As a big Ultraman fan, I was quite happy when I reviewed this 12 Heavenly General Ultraman from MSJ, and this series is really hard to find. Luckily, Big Pete, on his toy hunting adventures in Singapore, he managed to hunt down new MSJ 12 Heavenly General Ultraman for me. This one is seriously very hard to get in the market now, at least for me. I've been hunting them down for the past 2 years. This box set is basically Ultraman Zero or Zero with Ultraman Ace. Of course, if you're wondering, hey, how come these guys look so different? Well, these are actually based on the 12 heavenly deities that they worship in Japan. So they are remodeled, redesigned based on that look and feel, right? And also, the reason why these guys are so hard to find is they are not really produced in very large quantities. The designs are actually quite detailed and very intricate, and as you can see here, the paint job itself is meant to be a little bit dirty, just like how they are in Japan as well. These materials, well, these are actually not plastic, they're not PVC, but these are actually polyresin. So polyresin are the same material they use in statue. Now, within comparing Ultraman Zero and also Ultraman Ace, I kind of prefer Ace because Ace has this very cool looking steel blade, and it's actually a separate part, and it's actually, yes, stainless steel that you actually insert onto his right hand. Very cool. And if you notice, Ultraman Zero as well has a blue timer, which is different with this next box that Big Pete also managed to scout for me. This is Ultraman Zero with the two separate kaijus next to him side by side. Over here, Ultraman Zero is using his blades on his left and right hand, but also at the same time, if you look at his timer on his chest, it is actually green instead of blue, versus from the box that we've seen earlier before. The two kaijus, well, these two guys are actually very cute. I really like these two kaiju. They are meant to be guardian dogs or pets or whatever in the Heavenly Generals deities from Japan. But over here, they are a little bit shorter compared to the Ultraman. That's where they're meant to be. But I really like the amount of detail that they put into the sculpt. They look really refined, very detailed. And as I mentioned before, right, because these guys are actually made of polystone, so they are actually a little bit heavier compared to normal Ultraman figures that we know it's definitely a lot heavier compared to your Gashapon and Kenny Toys and even the Ultimate Luminous as well. So these are definitely worth getting if you guys can actually find them. They are supposed to be 12 Heavenly Generals and 12 Heavenly Ultraman all in total. It will probably take me some time to hunt all of them down, but I just want to give a very big shout out to Mr. Lau from Past Time Collectables in Singapore for giving us a very good deal to snag up these two boxes. I imagine that these two boxes, probably a lot of the Ultraman fans have seen this, but did not buy them because they're not sure what these guys were all about. But seriously, if you guys see the MSJ Ultraman 12 Heavenly General, you should definitely buy them up because these guys are seriously quite rare and very hard to find. It's something very different. It looks like Ultraman, but it's not really Ultraman look and feel, but it still retains the same design language. I highly recommend these guys if you can find them, right? If you try searching for them online, such as Hobby Link Japan and everywhere else, they are pretty much sold out everywhere. But I'm sure some hobby store somewhere will probably have it. You will just need to find them, in your toy hunting adventures. So there you go. A very big thank you again to Mr. Love from Past Time Collectibles Singapore. I'll be in Singapore next week, so I'll probably drop by again and see whether I can hunt down more MSJ Ultraman. Thank you guys for watching, and a very big thank you for tuning in all the way to the end of the video. If you like what we're putting out, hey, consider subscribing to our channel. That will really help us out in achieving 100,000 subs. Thank you guys for watching and have a great week ahead.